The mansion loomed. It stood against the night sky, a jagged wound in the darkness. The moon, a sliver, did little to pierce the gloom. The wind howled through ancient oaks, branches scraping like skeletal fingers. The iron gates, wrought with snarling wolves, hung open. The path to the entrance was lost beneath dead leaves and vines. Ellen sat at her desk, the single lamp casting long shadows across her cluttered newsroom desk. The letter lay before her. It was an invitation, or perhaps a warning. It was written on thick, yellowed parchment. The ink was an odd shade of crimson, almost black. It spoke of the mansion, of a forgotten history, and of a hidden room. A room that held a secret. The words were both alluring and unsettling. They tugged at Ellen's innate curiosity. Ellen was a journalist. She lived for stories like this, stories that sent shivers down your spine. She knew she had to see it for herself. The air inside the mansion was thick with dust and forgotten memories. Cobwebs draped the once grand foyer. Moonlight cast long shadows across the floor. Each step Ellen took echoed through the silence. A sudden draft slammed a door shut behind her. Ellen whirled around, her heart pounding. The mansion seemed to guide her. With each turn, Ellen felt an unseen hand on her shoulder. Deeper into the mansion's bowels she traveled. Finally, she stood before it, an imposing oak door firmly shut. Ellen ran her fingers along the smooth surface. It was ice cold, sending a shiver down her spine, the heart of the mansion holding its secrets. The journalist in her craved the truth, but a primal fear told her to turn back. Section 5, The Skeleton Key. Ellen searched for hours. She scoured every inch of the mansion, her fingers tracing over dusty furniture and prying at loose floorboards. In the attic, amidst a jumble of forgotten toys and cobweb trunks, she found it. It was a small, tarnished silver key. It lay nestled in the outstretched hand of a porcelain doll. She'd come too far to turn back now. Section 6, A Glimmer of Gold. The key turned in the lock with a heavy thunk. The door creaked open, revealing a room shrouded in darkness. Ellen stepped inside, her hand trembling as she fumbled for her lighter. The flame flickered to life, casting dancing shadows across the room. A single ray of moonlight pierced the darkness, illuminating a heavy wooden chest. Ellen knelt before the chest, her heart pounding. Slowly, she lifted the heavy lid. Inside lay a tarnished gold locket. Section 7, A Name in the Dark. The locket was cold in Ellen's hand. It was heavier than it looked, as if it carried the weight of the mansion's secrets. It was a name. Eleanor. A wave of sadness washed over Ellen as if she were touching a ghost. As she opened the locket, a gust of wind slammed the door shut. The lighter flew from her hand, plunging the room into darkness. Then she heard it. A whisper, soft and low. Eleanor. It breathed. The whispers grew louder, swirling around Ellen like a vortex of despair. They spoke of betrayal and a love tragically lost. Ellen pressed her hands against her ears, trying to block out the voices, but they were inside her head now, scratching at her sanity. Then a blood-curdling scream pierced the darkness. Ellen sank to her knees, her hands trembling uncontrollably. She knew she had stumbled upon something ancient and evil. Through the swirling shadows, a figure began to take shape. It flickered in and out of view, a translucent silhouette against the darkness. It was the figure of a young woman, her long hair cascading down her back. Her eyes, wide and filled with a haunting sadness, locked onto Ellen's. Ellen was paralyzed with fear, unable to look away. The woman's sorrowful gaze seemed to pierce Ellen's soul. In that instant, Ellen understood. This was Eleanor. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the figure vanished. Ellen was left alone in the darkness. The locket felt heavy in her hand. The whispers, though fainter now, still swirled around her. She stumbled out of the room, her mind reeling. Ellen ran. She didn't look back. She fled from the mansion and its secrets. As she stumbled out onto the gravel drive, she could hear the whispers following her. The mansion stood silent on the hill. The storm had passed, leaving behind an unnerving stillness. The moon cast long shadows across the overgrown lawns. The scent of damp earth and decay lingered in the air. Ellen never returned to the mansion. She couldn't face the darkness within its walls. The memory of that night haunted her still. The locket remained, a reminder of the mansion's secrets.